Hello, welcome to day 17 of your first 30 days in Kajabi. Today, I'm going to be going into the blog area of Kajabi and we're just going to see what that does. If you are having a podcast outside of Kajabi that you want to put on your website, this is the way to do it. If you're going to be blogging, this is the way to do it. So let's jump right in. Here from the dashboard, you click on website and then you come down to blog. This is going to be a main space. Before we do that though, we're going to come to website pages. That little blog area is where you put your episodes of your podcast or your blog um, posts. So as your website has a set of 14 pages, you can scroll down and you can see the three that are related to your blog. You've got the blog search, the blog post, and the blog. So the blog page is, it's just your main page. The blog post page is where all of your posts are displayed, and the search page is where search is. Like any other page, you just click onto the words here, and then you can edit it. And we don't have any blogs to preview. That's right, I forgot about that. So this is a little bit of a weird quirk of kind of creating that page. You have to first have a blog episode. So we are going to come into this blog area here and we're going to create our first blog post. Now this, pardon me again. All right, we're just going to restart this. When you come into the dashboard of Kajabi, you click on websites, and we're going to be doing some work on the website pages for the blog post, and the blog search. But before we do that, we have to come into the blog area here. And the first time that you come in, you'll need to get started, and it's going to ask you for some SEO stuff and some social sharing. The page title is going to be the title that shows up on search results. That's the actual link that people click on. That's the page title. The description is the words that come up under the search results, and the image is what shows up when you are posting a link for your blog on a social media page or messaging it to somebody. Instead of the link, the URL showing up, they're going to see this image and the page title. And so something that I like recommending for the page title is going to be kind of a twofold approach to this. It's great to have information about what the blog or what the page is about, space flight, and then I also like having who the blog is by or who the expert or the coach is behind it. And so this way, if this comes up in search on Google, for example, people will see, okay, this is about spaceflight and it's by Jim Raynor. So maybe there are many blogs about spaceflight. And yes, of course, people will be able to read in the URL, who this link is going to. And that might give them away, that the hint that it's from Jim Raynor. But it's really nice to just put right front and center that this is Jim Raynor's blog about spaceflight. When that's in the search results, it's just nice and clear. So I like kind of structuring my page titles this way, just for that added benefit of SEO and click through with making it more clear. If someone's looking specifically for Jim, then they're going to appreciate being able to see it in the title there. Anyways, once you've got this stuff done, click save. And now we're into this post area. So everything here is blog, but you can use this just as well for your podcast as for your blog. We're going to click here on new blog post. And this template is the same for everyone. It's very easy to learn and it's easy to use. So first of all, we've got a place for some media. If you are going to have video or audio, audio would be an MP3 file and then just a regular video file for video. If you're going to have any of that for your posts, this is where it can go. But this isn't where I would put your podcast. If your podcast is, say, hosted in Spotify, you're not going to put it here. You're actually going to put it down here in the content. And what I mean by that is in Spotify, you can go and get the little code, the embed code for your web player. You can do that in any of the podcast hosting places. When you copy your web player, you come into this source code area and you just paste it right here. Bam. And then it pops up. And then underneath it, you can put all of your show notes. You can put a transcript. You can put whatever you want. But you want to come in to the source code first and paste that web player from your podcast so that it's right on the top. It looks really good. And then whatever you put underneath, it's up to you. Again, you've got the title for your page. You can set a publishing date. You can put a specific image up, and this image will show up on your blog page. And you can put alt text for your image. You can put tags. These tags are more of like categories within Kajabi. So say you have episodes about, again, this is Jim's site, so it's space flight here. Say you've got episodes about, navigation, about hardware, and about funny stories. You could have a tag for each one of those, and they would be categories that people could sort your listings on your page by. They're not things that will help for search. They're just categories that will sort your listings on the main page. Here you can put your URL, the page title specifically for this post, and an image specifically for this post, and a description specifically for this post. So if you don't put a description in, that's not that big of a deal. A lot of times search engines will just create their own description. And if you don't put a picture in, that's not that big of a deal either, because you've taken care of, the picture and the page title and description for your blog in general. And so if you don't do it here, then that will be what's used, the overarching kind of setting for your blog, if that makes sense. So in order to actually edit the page, we're going to have some stuff here. So I'm just going to go ahead and pause the video quick and fill out some of this stuff. All right, so I've got a title here with some words in the description, an image, and I've published it. And I've put a tag in so that we can see how that relates later on. Now, even if you don't have an episode yet, you need to do this just so that there is something to look at while you're editing the pages. It's a little bit strange, but when we go to the next step, which is coming into website, pages, and then coming into either the blog, the post, or the search page, if we don't have an actual episode, when we go to these, or post, when we go to these pages, it just shows us like an empty screen of you can't do anything here because you don't have anything to look at yet. So now that we've got one, it's showing us something. And this is a page that needs quite a bit of work. So again, this is the blog page. It's not the post page, it's the blog page. This is the page that will basically be a listing of all of your content, whether it's your podcast or you're actually writing blogs. Like any of the other pages that you've designed, it's mostly all going to happen over here in the toolbar on the left. But notice you've got a blog listings section, and this section can't be duplicated or deleted. This is a unique section to this blog page, and if we click into it, you'll see that there's the layout. It can be list, and this is a layout for your articles. List, columns, all of those options. You can show the video, the date, the tags. So here you can see the little tag that I've got, and if I click on that, then the tag goes away. And you can truncate the descriptions, you can do all sorts of things here. So this is a a section that is just going to take some time for you to go through and just see what there is to be done. You can even add content. There's some special things here that you can add to this section. So take some time and preview the this blog listings section. As far as other sections go, well, you can just go to town designing this page. You're probably going to want to throw some sort of section on at the top that's like, hey, check out this page. It's awesome. This is my blog, or this is my podcast. And you may want to add something like another section underneath that might say, hey, go subscribe at these places, or talks a little bit about more of what this blog or this podcast is about. Anyways, you can design this page however you want. I like at the bottom, I like putting in like a lead magnet. So that would be something like a form or not a text and image, a form and image. Let's do a form, and you can have a lead magnet at the bottom. You can have your listing of all your articles there. You can have your stuff at the top. Now I want you to see over here as well. So this is the sidebar, but notice how it's in this section of blog listings. The sidebar is kind of a cool place, and you can see here I've got categories. If I come into the blog listings, I have to kind of pay attention to these headings, because one of them is going to be sidebar. So now here's the sidebar. I can decide how it's viewable. Maybe I don't want the categories, so I'm just going to come over here and either delete or hide, and then notice that goes away. And so this sidebar is kind of like it's just another element that you can design to make this blog page work for you. We're going to save this, and I'm just going to quickly show you the post page. I'm not going to go into the search page because it's pretty boring and you can figure it out yourself. But this post page is another kind of unique post. It's got this, or page, pardon me, it's got this section that says blog post body. And this again is a unique section that can't be deleted or duplicated. It's got some, all of these things in it. It's got a bunch of options down there, just like, in the blog page. That's kind of a special page. And I don't usually add that much to this page because this is, where they're coming to get the content. Notice how I've got my description here, the testing 1, 2, 3. I've got my image. And then, there's a call to action and a form opt-in. That's just part of this. You may decide to, scroll down here and let's see, blog post call to action. You may not want to show that. Same thing with the blog post opt-in. Maybe you don't, maybe you do. That'd be a great place to put a lead magnet, and then it's just always there underneath your post. Again, you've got the sidebar, and once you get your post in, then you can see exactly what it looks like. That's why we had to go and create a post before we started doing this. So looking at these pages now, especially this blog page here, I can see that it's probably going to be helpful to have more than one post made, just kind of as a placeholder, so that I can explore some of these different options for the layout styles. And other than that, just take some time to design this page to make it look nice. And in this blog area, when you're making your one placeholder, maybe just make 2 or 3 or 4 placeholders so that you'll have a better idea as to what it's looking like when you're going in to design it and what the options are for the layouts. So that is the blog area and functionality within Kajabi. It can be used just as equally well for bloggers as it is for podcasters. And it turns out to be a great place to showcase your podcast on your page. From an SEO perspective, all of the posts that you make in this blog area are all hierarchy. I don't know what that word is. It's all below in the hierarchy of your pages. It's all below under your blog page. So all of the authority that collectively they gather funnels up into your blog main page, which is one of your main website pages, and it can be a real boost to your SEO. So anyways, take some time to explore the blog functionality, and if you've got a podcast outside of Kajabi, this is a great way that you can include it. See you tomorrow.